Hello. Happy New Year from the Tide Runners family. Thought I'd give you all a quick update on what's actually going on with the backyard ponds and the renovation works we've got going on very shortly. Just at the back here now with my wife's Oscar pond. As you can see, these guys are absolutely pumped along, doing really well. We've got all our Oscars in here. Some really nice, pretty ones. These guys are doing quite well. We do heat this pond in winter. I drop the water level down and we put a heater in there and they all seem to do all right. I just find their colours pop a lot more in the natural sunlight than having them under artificial lights. The bog filter for this tank is, plants are absolutely powering, which is really good. We've got some plant grow out tanks here as well, some aquaponics tanks. We've got some water plants growing in. Now we've got a lot of work going on up here, so mind the mess. I like a lot of work. We're halfway through building the shaded area for where the pool heater is going to be fitted here in a few weeks' time. This used to be the shark pond. It's now the barramundi billabong, hence why we're putting the pool heater on there. Especially being under this shade sail, it tends to get a bit cold in winter. But in this pond here, we've got Saratoga, we've got jade perch, we've got Australian bass, we've got silver perch, fork-tailed catfish, a couple of barramundi, and today we added 2 more Saratoga that I had in quarantine, in separate quarantine tanks. So we've now got 3 Saratoga in here. So I will insert clips of them at the end of this video if you want to see how they're all getting along underwater. I put a GoPro in there for a while, and then I also got in about an hour after having the GoPro hidden in there. I actually got in and swam in there with my camera and got some really good footage of them. So yeah, housing multiple Saratoga together can be really difficult. They're not normally a very social fish with their own kind, let alone with other fish. There are exceptions to the rule. It all comes down to the individual. But overall, they can be quite cranky towards more of their own kind. But in saying that, out in the wild, I have dived the rivers and some of the lakes, and I have found Saratoga in big schools together. But see, in an area like that, they can get away from each other when they've had enough. In an aquarium, a glass box, they don't have that luxury. They're kind of like in each other's face all the time. Now, there's a guy that I know, really awesome fish keeper, and he's got an Instagram called Nui Natives, and I tell you, hands down by far, one of the best native fish aquariums I have ever seen. And he has been lucky enough to house multiple Saratoga together. Not just Saratoga, he's got cold runner, mangrove jack, jungle perch. He's got northern Saratoga and southern Saratoga. So if you get a chance, jump on Instagram and have a look at Nui Natives. Big shout out to you, buddy. Love your setup. So we've actually added 2 Saratoga to this pond now. We already had 1 in here originally, the biggest one, and we added 2 smaller ones that I've had in quarantine. So fingers crossed we can get them to go along and not kill each other. If they can try and deal with that, that'd be great, because I don't really want them ripping each other apart. But I do have emergency accommodation here if that does start to become an issue. I've got another 2 coming for this pond, so eventually we'll have 5 in here, and hopefully that'll establish themselves in a bit of a pecking order, and hopefully it'll work. But I'll keep you guys updated on how it goes. This is a very large tank to house them in. 4.5 meters across, 1 meter deep on the edge, 1.2 meters deep in the middle. It's tapered. So plenty of structure as well, plus big bits of driftwood which cause visual barriers so they don't always see each other, which also helps. So fingers crossed that actually works. Now moving on to the other reno work we're doing, we're ripping up this whole deck. This deck's about 1.5 to 2 years old now. It was only put together very quickly for my son's birthday party, and it didn't get enough paint and stuff at the time, so a lot of it's rotted away now. So yeah, it's time to revamp it, redo it all, and do it all properly this time. We're getting rid of this monstrosity. That was a marketplace special. It lasted about 4 months before it started catastrophically leaking, and I just could not be bothered spending the money on fixing it. So we're going to decommission it and put it in the bin and take it to the dump. So bye-bye. This is the current filter system for the 14,000 litre pond. Now in here we've got turtles, spangle perch, sooty grunner, a really big Saratoga. I'm going to get away from using IBCs as filter pods. As you can probably tell on this tank here, that used to be an IBC, and I swapped out for these 1,000 litre rainwater tanks. I just find that they're so much more durable and they don't take up as much room. They're a lot easier to work with, and they're not as brittle or as fragile as IBCs can become. So we're going to actually repurpose this one. We're going to cut it off level and do a perspex or glass fence barrier around the top of it, about 800 high. And we're going to do some driftwood coming down into the water, and we're going to fill it probably half full with quarry rock, and then the whole top section, about 2 foot of it, will be river sand. Now what the purpose of that's going to be is so if the turtles want to breed, they have access to a nesting area and a land area. They don't just have to come out and just sit on the logs. They'll be able to go up the log, cruise around on sand and gravel, and if they want to breed, they can breed. If they don't want to breed, that's up to them. But at least they'll have that option there if they want it. So that'll be the nesting area. That's going to be the new filter system, which I'm probably going to set up over this side, I'm thinking, and have the water cascading down that way, change the flow a bit. And we're going to rip up this whole deck and completely redo all of it. And on the back patio, we've got the aquaponics system, which we use as our quarantine tank when we're quarantining new fish before they go in the ponds. That's going to come off from here once that deck's redone, and it's actually going to go in that back corner where that other horrid tank is. Well, it won't be for much longer. That's going to move to there, so we can actually get the back patio back. That's to my wife's happiness. So yeah, guys, this is a bit of an update of what's happening here at the moment. Yeah, stay tuned. Next 2 to 4 weeks, this will all be done. So hope you enjoy it. See ya.